Hello and welcome to InvestorToday.ca. I'm your host, Dave Glover. InvestorToday.ca is brought to you in conjunction with RBL Communications, your online IR communications specialist. Joining me today is Graham Keevil. Graham Keevil from Tajiri Resources Corp. Tajiri, which trades on the TSX under the symbol TAJ. They have primary focus up in the Yukon, up in the Mayo district of the Yukon, which is a past-producing area, very close to the Keno Hill mining area up there as well. Some very good neighbors, and I want to welcome Graham to the show. Graham, welcome to the show today.
Thanks very much, Dave, and good to be back, I guess.
Well, you know, we had a pretty positive response to the last interview that we did with you, and you've got some, we can share some new information with our listeners, and that is the fact that you are now Graham Keevil, Director and Vice President of Corporate Development for Tajiri Resources Corp. So congratulations on that.
Thanks very much. It's nice to be recognized for the work I've put in to date, and now able to be privy to more of these decision makings and steering the ship, as it were, for Tajiri.
Right. Well, and you and I actually just recently completed a what I like to refer to as a road show, where we sell the public company. We met a number of brokers in Toronto, and I know that you've had some meetings in British Columbia as well, in Vancouver. So that must have been a nice change for you to be, getting away from working just the phones and actually putting yourself out there in front of these brokers.
Well, you're right there, and I think the good point of all those and what came out of them is just the positive response that we got across the board for the Tajiri story. I think everybody really sees the value that the two projects we're involved in present, and you probably shouldn't take too much work this summer to get some results that could move us to the next level as far as market cap and stock price, etc. So.
Right. Well, as I said at the outline, the primary focus is up in that Mayo district, that Keno Hill area, if you will. Your closest neighbor is Silver Predator, and I understand that you've gotten some assays back recently from some of the ground samples that were available.
That's correct, and I think last time we spoke, it was regarding some of the drilling results that had come out of the Silver Predator camp. Since then, in January, we had the small program and samples that we completed in August come back from the lab. 45 of those samples came back highly mineralized, grades ranging up to 8,600 grams per ton silver. There was 8.2 grams per ton gold in there, and throughout all the samples we got extremely strong lead grades as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that just sort of speaks to the numbers that we've seen there historically, ranging upwards of 100 ounces per ton, as I think I mentioned in our last conversation.
Right. Well, then again, that's very significant. It's a past-producing silver project, but you mentioned that you guys have also found gold up there.
Well, and that's a positive, of course, gold being worth what it is today. And I think it was due to the fact they actually didn't assay for it historically. They were basically in there getting out the silver, shipping it directly to smelters. Whether the credits were paid back to the guys doing it at that point, I couldn't make a comment on. But we did actually sample and assay for it in all of our samples that came back, and at least there was, half a gram to a gram on the low side, and obviously 8.2 on the high side there.
Yeah, well, and again, that's excellent. But we're focused on silver as well. Now, you guys are going to be doing some airbornes this season as well, I understand.
Yeah, we're going to get in early June, complete a high-frequency electromag survey in and around some of the past-producing areas, specifically Pit 10, where we actually historically have seen numbers of 675 tons of rock material producing 115,000 ounces of silver. And what we want to do is basically follow up on those outcrops with this survey, delineate where we think the veins are going subsurface, and get a drill in there in August and poke a couple shallow holes just to really get a sense of the continuity and perhaps what kind of tonnage we could build through further drilling as we move forward with the property.
Right. So again, very positive forward momentum with Tajiri Resources Corp for the listeners out there. And Graham, obviously you've got a mining background, a legendary mining background with your family, and so I feel really comfortable in saying that they definitely got probably the right guy in charge up there.
Well, we're bringing in some pretty respectable groups to handle the initial exploration. I've been in talks with Aurora Geoscience, who works in the Yukon and northern Canada pretty much exclusively. They actually did a lot of the work for Alexco during their delineation and putting of the Keno Hill mine back into production.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very familiar with these high-grade vein-style deposits. They were the ones that actually suggested we do the high-frequency electromag, suggesting it was the, quote, Cadillac of geophysics surveys.
Right.
So, I've always been of the opinion you want to do something right the first time, even if it may cost a little bit more up front. You get the results that'll move the market forward and create some value for all our shareholders.
Absolutely, and that's what the shareholders are interested in is increasing that value, isn't it? So I'm going to wish I wish you guys great luck for this season. As you said, you're going to kick it off probably sometime in the first 2 weeks of June. And hopefully, as you said, poke a couple of small drill holes in there in August. The company is Tajiri Resources Corp. That trades on the TSX under the symbol TAJ. I'm Dave Glover. We've been talking to Graham Keevil, a Director and Vice President of Corporate Development for Tajiri Resources Corp. As I said, I want to wish you all the best for this season, Graham, and thanks for taking time out today to talk to us.
No problem, Dave, and I'd just like to say to any of you listeners that may want some more information about the company, as always, feel free to give me a call. I always enjoy talking to people, letting them know a little bit about what we're doing and where we might be going. So.
Absolutely. And you can also check out Tajiri's website as well, tajiriresourcescorp.com. So, again, great information. Thanks a lot, Graham, and we'll talk to you again very soon, I hope.
Sounds good, Dave.
Bye-bye.